I need you. Your community needs you. And let me tell you for why. This is not sponsored content. This is something I genuinely believe in passionately enough to dedicate an entire video to it. I want you to attend this Kill Team tournament. So, friend of the channel, Ryan Slater, of Turning Point Tactics fame, Mr. Dandelion and Burdock himself, if you've been with the channel that long to remember the cola beverages universe, right? The Kill Team content creators as brown bubbly beverages thing that we had going on there for a while, okay? He's putting on what promises to be an absolute festival of Kill Team goodness in September, okay? And as your guarantee of quality, he's being assisted by everyone's favourite Christmas tree, Jason, who runs all of the Knots Kill Team events. Now, if you've seen any of my reviews of the awesome Knots Kill Team events on this very channel, you'll know how highly I rate Jason and the vibe that he brings to all of his events. Okay? And this promises to have those same vibes, but potentially on a massive, massive scale. There are 128 tickets, I think, available. It's a 2-day event. Now, it is in a place called Newark. Don't get a map. It's got a Nottingham postcode, so you know vaguely where it is, and your phone will get you there. Don't worry about it. Okay? It promises to be an amazing event, but only if we, the community, make it amazing and turn up, right? And this is what I want to talk to you about in this video, and this is why this video is relevant to you, even if you aren't necessarily going to attend this tournament, although I think everybody watching this could attend this tournament, right? But even if you aren't, this is why this video is relevant to you, because we need to understand a community, right, around a game cannot be a community made up only of the top table players, right? There are about 12 to 20 people in the UK who are going to win and come first place at a tournament. Great. If we want these big events aren't really, yeah, they're about that. Yeah, there's golden tickets. Yeah, that elite top level of competition is a great thing. But you have to have your middle tables. You have to have your bottom tables. You have to have your casual dads. Like me, you don't actually have to be a dad, okay? But you have to have your casual dads who are there just to have fun, right? We're the people that makes it work, right? And if people lose sight of that, there isn't a scene anymore. There isn't a scene, there aren't games being played, there isn't tier lists, there isn't content, there isn't stats, there isn't any of this stuff. The stuff that we all enjoy and we all enjoy talking about comes from events. Turn up, play games, roll dice, make memories, go outside, speak to people, shaking hands needs to come back. We need to reclaim these things. Now look, this is why I've been moved to make this video. Ryan has had to hire the venue up front. Right, now, so one of the downsides, normally if you run an event, if you run it in a gaming store, quite often you can persuade the store to let you have the space for free, on the basis that you're not gonna like charge any money and they can charge a ticket to the people that come in, and you can have that kind of arrangement. I'm gonna level with you. Ryan, I think he's a great guy. He's done a bit of the old Icarus here, right? He has dreamed big, and potentially he's flown a bit too close to the sun, and he might be about to fall. And we as the community, we can catch him. We can still turn this around at the last minute. We can come together like the army coming over the hill, right? In the last sort of 20 minutes of the film, okay? And we can make this into a massive community-driven success story, right? Because he had to pay up front, and right now he stands to make a loss. Right? Now, as my understanding is, he was never planning to make a profit. He wants to make the money back to pay for the venue, right? And to pay for the prize support, right? we're going to go through the prizes, there'll be a lot of prizes, and what he was hoping to do, there are 2 golden tickets at this event, and he was hoping to be able to use some of the excess money to fund the plane tickets and the hotel rooms for the people that win the 2 golden tickets as well. And I just think, given that, and he's doing all this work, and he's not actually trying to make a profit himself, right? It would suck if trying to do something out of the wish to really grow a scene ended up burning you to a tune of a non-trivial, let's be honest, a non-trivial amount of money. Okay? Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've tried to guess what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, Phil, I'm not a tournament player. As you can see from this recycle thumbnail up here, I'm not a tournament player either. I just play in tournaments. Okay? We're all tournament players. We just don't know it yet. Someone's going to come last. This is a rule. Every single tournament, someone's going to come last, second to last, third to last, fourth to last. The bottom half, the bottom third, the bottom quarter of the table have to exist. Right? The trick is not to worry about whether or not you're tournament grade or elite level or a pro player, right? Maybe you listen to a lot of videos from channels like Turning Point Tactics or like Can You Roll a Crit, and you're thinking, man, I am not on their level. They're talking about these things and these concepts, and I don't get it. I just like to push my little guys around and roll some dice. Tournaments aren't for me, right? I'll stick to playing once a week in church hall or whatever it is against the same 3 mates I've been playing against for the last 2.5 years. And I'm here to tell you that tournaments are for you. Maybe not every tournament, right? Some tournaments are like a 12-player Shark Tank type of thing. But this kind of tournament, this absolute jamboree of Kill Team, being put together by 2 of the... I'm not going to beat around the bush. Ryan may well be one of the best Kill Team players in the UK, but has a real eye, a real care, and a real passion for the casual game. I know that to be true. Okay, and Jason, man, he is Mr. Casual. That sounds kind of insulting, but hopefully he knows what I mean, right? He's all about growing the community. He's all about people having fun, getting out of their houses, meeting each other, and having a wonderful time. Right? So if you like playing games of Kill Team, if you wish you could play a wider variety of teams, right, sign up to a tournament. Preferably this one, right, that I'm trying to promote a little bit, but any tournament, sign up for a tournament. There's only about a dozen people in the UK scene, I reckon, that are in contention for top tables, right? Kill Team, at least in the UK, I can't speak for other nations, but it's never really been about being the best. You don't get 64 players who come to an event all thinking, yes, I've got an equal chance of winning this event. You look around the room and you go, well, him. Those are the people. Any event, you go, well, these are the Sharks. These are the guys that are going to be in contention for the top games. And the rest of us are just here to have a nice time. Games are fun, right? That's the point. We're not pro athletes. It's not a job, right? Even the people who are on the top tiers, who sometimes we erroneously call them the pro players, they're not actually pro players. They're not being paid. It's nobody's job. It's not putting bread on the table, right? It's a leisure activity. And we call it a tournament, and we make it sound a bit elite. And I've talked before on this channel ad nauseam about how online discourse sometimes makes things seem more closed off and competitive than they really are. But it's about having fun. It's about coming together with like-minded folks and playing quite chill and friendly games. And actually, one of the things I love about tabletop wargaming that isn't true of, like, sport is that you could end up playing a game against a top player. And you probably lose. But you might not. And it's really open and it's egalitarian. It's not like, it's not like somebody's... I don't know anything about football, really. Except that we lost a football match the other day. Everybody at work wanted to tell me about it. But, if you play football in the pub with not in the pub, but with a team of people that you meet in your pub and then you play football on a field or something, right? If you play like 5-a-side or 11-side football, whatever it is with your mates, you can't just rock up and be like, okay, Liverpool Football Club, we're having a game of football against you. Now, you can't do that. You have to be in the right league or division and qualify and go up and go down and prove that you're... Nah. War games, kill team, turn up, right? You know, get your thing, pull it out of the bucket, like, who am I playing against? Oh, it's John Reese. Can you roll a crit? First game, right? That guy off YouTube. You probably lose. But you've got to rub shoulders with somebody who's pretty good, learn something, you know. Oh, yeah, obviously you can't play against Ryan at this game because he's TOing it, but, you know, again, I've been to events, Ryan's there. By the look of the draw, could have been playing a game. Might have learned something. I think that's nice. Some people don't like that. They think, oh, I might draw someone really good in the first round, I'll just get hammered, right? The thing is, nobody in this scene, if they go to a game and they go, I'm comfortably going to win this game, they're not just going to robotically hammer you, like, without speaking. They're going to make it a pleasant, conversational, teaching kind of a game for you as you go along, right? And you could get lucky. It's a dice game, you know? Even if you don't think you're up here, you're just one hot streak away. You're just one hot streak away from doing really well, from drawing the teams that your team just happens to do well on, from rolling hot when they roll cold. You've got a chance. Everybody's got a chance. In the back of your mind, you've got a little bit of a chance. Play in a tournament. Play in this tournament. I know, I feel like I'm part of the problem. Because I've been pushing this narrative, and not just me, but, you know, the internet in general, have been pushing this narrative of, oh, there's a new edition of Kill Team coming soon with the Scions, with the Jump Packs, and the Crute. And this always happens. And this is why Games Workshop, to their credit as a company, they try and keep rumours of a new edition really tightly under wrap, because they know as soon as there's rumours of a new edition, people lose interest in the current edition. Right, there's always this drop-off thing. And the thing is, we don't know anything. What we think, right? I don't think there's going to be that much of a difference between the current edition of Kill Team and the next edition of Kill Team. It's going to be like Warcry. They're going to change it itty little bits, right? Now, one of two things is going to happen regarding this event, this Turning Point Tactics event and the new edition of Kill Team. Either this ends up being one of the last big events of the current edition of Kill Team, or it ends up being one of the first big events of the next edition of Kill Team. Either one of those things is awesome and historic, and you want to say that you were there. Right? Oh, I was there, when it was the Turning Point Tactics tournament, and it was like the last big edition of the current version of Kill Team, and it was the last time that we played on all the terrain with all its proper rules, and all these guys were there off the YouTube, and Ryan was there, and Jason was there, and I saw all these people, and it was amazing, right? Or, I was there at the Turning Point Tactics event when, he created it, and then the new version of Kill Team had just come out, and all the terrain just kind of didn't slightly work, and he had to muddle through, and we muddled through, and it was hilarious, and people didn't really know what was going on, but we all had a really great time and a laugh, and it was amazing. And it turns out that crew are really broken in the new rules set, and and whatever it turns out to be, right, it'll be stories. It'll be memories. Don't shy away, right? Be there. Be part of the story of the community. Be part of the myth, the fabric of the community, right? Because I can say I was there when Kill Team 21 launched. I was there. I lost tournament games to pre-nerf Custodes, and that, to me, that's cool. That's part of the history of Kill Team, right? I was there. You want to be able to say that. You were there at the end or at the start of something new. You want to say that you were there. Phil, you might be saying, £45 is a lot of money. Okay, because a 2-day event, £45. You could buy 3 cinema tickets, 3 cinema tickets, £45. So you could go and see the new Despicable Me film 3 times. Or you could play 7 games of Kill Team. You know? And when you put it that way, it's like, look, I don't want to believe... I know for some people, £45 on any leisure activity in today's economy is a lot of money. And if you're one of those people, if you'd love to come and you genuinely just can't make it work financially, jump onto the Discord, contact Ryan directly, right? Because some absolute angels have sponsored tickets for people, you know, who, if people can say, actually, I really want to go, but I just can't afford a ticket, Ryan will sort you out, okay? If you can't get hold of Ryan directly on Discord, could you on my Discord, hit me up and I'll hook you guys up together and you can discuss it, right? For the vast majority of us, though, probably can find £45, or maybe we don't want to. I think the comparison is apt. You've got to weigh this up compared to everything's expensive now. You know, would you rather play 7 games of Kill Team or have a box of Gellerpox infected? Right? Only you can answer that question. Would you rather play 7 games of Kill Team or watch the new Despicable Me film 3 times? You know, which one's going to give you more hours of entertainment, be more varied? I'm being slightly silly, right? You could watch 3 different films, obviously. But even then, 3 cinema trips versus 2 days at tournaments, those things feel slightly equivalent to me, right? I think it is a lot of money, but I think when you think about all the price support that's going to go into it, think about how much the venue costs to hire, how massive, what's the one complaint I've always had? What's the one complaint I've always had about Not Kill Team? The one thing that Jason can't control, and the one thing that pisses me off every time I go, right? The shop's quite small, and you're walking around like this, trying to push past people, right, and get to your table and not knock your stuff on the ground, and it's a whole thing, right? We've got a massive, actually don't know how big it is, but it's called a pavilion, right, which means big, okay, in French probably, right? It's not that bad. Some of you, I mean, I'm even going to go for the international people. Some of you might be saying, "Phil, I don't live in the UK." First thing, I know this is a hard ask, because obviously you're coming from outside the UK. Everything I just say, it's not just the £45, it's the flights, the hotel, maybe you hire a car, you do all these things, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it gets expensive. The UK is the home of Warhammer, and therefore the home of Kill Team. It's in Nottingham. I mean, granted, Newark is probably wouldn't... It has a Nottingham postcode. Probably close enough to Warhammer World that if you're in a position to take an extra day off, you could have that Warhammer World on the Friday, you know, land easy at Midlands Airport, go to Warhammer World, and then finish at Warhammer World, drive down to Newark, or up to Newark, I've got no idea where this place is, and then playing 2 days of tournament. Like, that's an option for you. You know, Nightfall came over from Germany, right, for a Warhammer World tournament. We did Skaven, we did a whole tournament report. Is Nightfall just cooler than you? Hypothetical non-UK viewer? I don't know. Maybe he is. I'm heavily sponsored, so I should say he definitely is cooler than you, but you don't want to let that stand. You want to come over to the UK and play Kill Team. You want to prove that, like everything the English invent, like cricket, right, that you can come over here and beat us soundly at a game we invented, right? You know you want to. You know you need to, okay? Now, in my mind, I'm imagining that at this point I've basically persuaded you. That's probably not true, but let's go with the conceit, okay? So maybe you want the details. What are the details? 7 rounds. 7 rounds. That's like, what are we assuming, 90 minutes a round? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half hours of entertainment. 10 and a half hours of your favourite miniatures wargame against 7 different opponents, hopefully with 7 different kill teams. We got all the layouts: Octarius, Chalnath, Nakman, Morok, Into the Dark, Beta Decima. Now maybe you'll be like, oh, I don't want to play on Beta Decima because it's not perfectly balanced. Yeah, that's an argument, but like, doesn't this just go to show the lie to the thing? For, you know, I'm not a tournament gamer. Tournament gamers are all professional pro gamers at the top end of their bullshit, right? We're just playing toy soldiers. We're just going to play on whatever maps and have fun and roll dice and go, and have a nice time. Right? If it was supposed to be pro gamers, pro gaming around with their kill team, it would just be like 9 identical Octarius tables. Nobody wants that. Even the really top players don't want that if they're honest with themselves. There's going to be prizes. 2 golden tickets up for grabs, right? Off to Atlanta you will go to play kill team with the best of the best of the best if you win. I said that you didn't need to think of it really competitively, but it's worth saying, this is quite late in the season, and all of the best, most elite players probably already have a golden ticket. So, if you're like an upper middle echelon kill team player, this might be an event for you to swoop in there and grab your ticket to the Worlds in Atlanta. Just a thought between you and me. Best beginner, right? If you have played less than 16... Oh, now, what was the exact rule? If this is your first 16-player or more tournament, and you win out of the other people who are playing in their first 16-player or more tournament, then you win a prize. How will they know? I mean, obviously, people just won't lie to steal the beginner prize, because that'd be really awful. Just saying. If you come exactly in the middle, you win a prize. If you're the best representative of your faction, you win a prize. If you have the best painted army, kill team, according to a vote of the community, everybody that's there, you win a prize. If you have the best painted kill team in opinion of the judges, you also win a prize. Be loads of prizes. Loads of prizes. Okay, let's give you the gory details. So it's on Saturday the 7th and Sunday the 8th of September, right? So if you have kids, summer holidays finished, they're back at school for 1 week, and then you're saying, cool, can I go off to this kill team event? Right? As a teacher, I'm kind of annoyed because I wish it was in the holidays. But if you're a parent, it's kind of ideal, right? It's at the Cedric Ford Pavilion in the Newark Showground in Lincoln Road, Coddington? These are all apparently real words. I love living in England. Newark. But it's a Nottingham postcode. NG24. So the way quick aside to learn how postcodes work, right? So outside of London, London's bizarre. Ignore London, right? Everywhere else, you've got a post town, in this case, Nottingham. Nottingham is denoted by NG, right? So NG1 would be the centre of Nottingham, or the centre of Nottingham where the big post office is, right? And the higher the number after the letters, the further away from the central post office you have gone in a sort of, yeah. So we're looking for somewhere that's sort of closest to Nottingham than any other post town, but it's NG24, so it's probably pretty, it's going to be, quite far, right? That's just how postcodes work, right? It's funny, I used to live in, when I lived with my parents, I used to live on the Wirral, which doesn't have its own giant post office. And when I was a boy, we had L postcodes for Liverpool. And then all the middle-class people that lived on the Wirral were like, we don't want L postcodes anymore. People might confuse us for Scousers. And then they decided they were going to have CH postcodes for Cheshire instead. Now in London, it works differently. And the postcodes begin with the cardinal directions, so north, south, east and west, northwest. London's a silly place, never go there. It's going to be a 7-round kill. You see, this is the quality content that people come to the channel for. I've always got to inject a side rant about nothing of note, just to keep people listening. It's going to be a 7-round kill team tournament, as I've said many, many times. Of course, Ryan is using his own Turning Point Tactics terrain layouts because he's the guy that made the layouts. He obviously thinks that they're the best, obviously. They're on all the boards, as I've said. There's prizes, as I've said. There's all the things. Right. How do you get a ticket? I'm going to put a link in the description. Tickets are being sold via the Best Coast Pairings website. The price is in United States dollars because I don't know. I don't know, Ryan, why have you done... This is why you've not sold... I reckon this is like why you've not sold many tickets. It's just this. People get that far and they're like, $59.90. That's like a whole Land Raider now, Ryan. That's too much money. Now, forget the 3 Despicable Me's. That's like a whole ass Land Raider, people think, because they don't see the little dollary sign and they think that it's going to be that many. It's going to be £60 would be absurd. It's not though, is it? It's $46.25. And I've read, right, if you contact Ryan on Discord, he'll sort you out a ticket for the fixed price of £45. If you're nervous about your currency conversion rates, okay. If you can't get hold of Ryan, like I've said, DM me on our Discord, and I'll put you guys in the same conversation. I'll let you PayPal him your £45 and get your ticket that way, and we can cut out your bank's transaction swapping costs, and we can cut out the BCP's operating fee and all these other things. Why didn't you just do it that way to begin with? I don't want to be critical because I've never run a tournament, but it's just the one thing that I'm like, come on. Where can you sleep? Really important question. There's loads of places. Airbnb is popular with a lot of people. I personally think that the idea of sleeping in somebody else's house makes me profoundly uncomfortable, and the idea of sleeping in a house that could be somebody's rented home makes me profoundly uncomfortable. But I like staying in hotels. There's a hotel, the Premier Inn in Newark. I'll put the link in the description. That's where I'm staying because I like Premier Inns because they're purple and they used to be advertised on TV by Lenny Henry. And, right, it's next to a Beefeater. Now, Beefeater's not very good, but it's sort of weirdly nostalgic for a lot of people. Do you want to eat in a beef? Nobody wants to eat in a Beefeater, but you kind of know that you can eat in a Beefeater. Like, the food is safe. You know, it's not going to kill you. Beefeater, it's like alarmingly consistent. It's like up there with Little Chef. You know, and in many ways it's like a slightly upmarket version of, and by upmarket I just mean that it's less red plastic and more kind of fake wood. You're supposed to be shilling for somebody's tournament, and I'm just... There's a Beefeater. A funny story, when Nightfall came to visit me in the UK, he really wanted to go and eat in the Beefeater in Nottingham, and I was like, that's not a prestige establishment. If you really like Beefeaters, let me know in the comments. I'm going to be there. I said I'm staying in this hotel. I am actually going to be at the event, of course. So if you're a fan of the channel, maybe there's one person out there mad enough to be like, I'm going to go to this tournament so that I can see the guy from Tabletop Impulse. Please, if that's you, please actually say hello, right? Because don't be the guy that stands there and goes, I'm just going to look in your direction and sort of, and I'm like, is that someone that remembers me off the YouTube? Or is that just somebody that wants to stab me in the kidney? Just say hi. Important thing, it's going to be bacon rolls. And especially if you're travelling from overseas, right? Forget the roast dinner, forget fish and chips, forget jellied eels or whatever else you may have seen on TV. The quintessential British snack is the bacon roll, and apparently there's going to be bacon rolls available in the morning. I think at an additional charge. I don't. Instructions unclear. But there was certainly talk of bacon rolls available to consume, perhaps at an additional cost. Probably. I should say, because it was written down, vegetarian and vegan options are also available if you fall into those categories. I bet they're the same option. Like, I bet vegetarians get really wound up that now it's not economical to get like a... Because if you're a vegetarian, right, and you want a quiche, like a cheese and onion quiche, and then suddenly all the cheese and onion quiches are made with vegan cheese, because what the corporations have done is we'll consolidate all the dietary requirements into one really shit product. So there's no cheese, no gluten, and no meat. And it's like, well, I only wanted to give up one of those things. But that's the third off-topic rant for one video. That's it. I'm going to finish now because I'm just madly spouting gibberish. And the most important thing, look, is that you should really consider attending this tournament if you can. If you're free that weekend, if you love Kill Team, if you like to do what people on YouTube tell you to do because they have a YouTube channel and a microphone, if you think my Photoshop's cool, these are all reasons. These are all reasons to consider, if you can, if you're free that weekend and you're solvent enough, please do consider signing up for the Tabletop Tactics Kill Team tournament in Newark on the 7th. Is that right? The 7th to the 8th of September. I remembered all that without it being on the slide. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of me. This has been, yes, a shill, but no, not really, because I've not been paid. Jason just DM'd me and said, hey, is there any way you could help us out? Because, Ryan's paid all this money. And, it's like the beacons of Gondor were lit. And I really do feel that the community has to pull together when this kind of thing happens. And if I can persuade even one person who's still watching this today is like, actually, yeah, I was on the fence, but I'll go, then my work here is done. My work here is done. If I can persuade two people to do it, right, then that's a movement. That's like Team Tabletop Impulse, right? If you, in fact, that's what I will do. If you put in the comments that you're going to the tournament, right? You're going to the tournament because I made this video. You give my express consent. You can be on Team Tabletop Impulse too, and we can all compete for last place, right? And we'll have a little meet-up, and maybe we'll go to the Beefeater next to the Premier Inn and eat disappointing steaks. And we can all drink warm beer and disappointing steaks together as Tabletop Impulse enthusiasts. Speaking of Tabletop Impulse enthusiasts, who are probably the only people that have put up with the over half an hour of absolute bullshit that this video has been, thank you to all of my members, right, who are kind enough to financially support me, and I'm not asking them to financially support somebody else. Thank you especially to Nightfall. You want another UK-based holiday, Nightfall, come on. And Mr. Massive Crit, who are both subscribed at the highest possible tier. Amazing. Amazing. Consider it. Consider it. Link in the description to the event. Link in the description to the Premier Inn. I'm mainly saying these things so that I don't forget to do them when I stop recording the video. And speaking of stopping recording the video, that's what needs to happen now. Bye-bye. Cheery bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.